Okay, I will call the meeting to order. So if we can, we'll go through some of what is normally our reports, and then we'll just do it orally, since unfortunately none of us received it this month, which is fine. Not a problem. So Jesse, if you want to talk about what's been accomplished this month, it would be great.
Sure. Yeah, and if it's actually okay, Amy's here from Shine and has to leave a little early, so can she go first?
You can go first if you want. Absolutely.
Perfect. Amy, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So just a few updates on Metro West Shine. We just booked 2 presentations at CATH, one of them being the Medicare one-on-one, and the other one being the ending for the public health emergency for, any clients who are on Mass Health or who are scared about losing their Mass Health. So one is for May and one is for June. We also this month have our new counselor info session where we will be, meeting our potential recruits for our new counselors for this year, and they will all be selected by the end of this month, and training will begin in April. We are continuing to work with state officials in Mass Health to determine an action plan for our counselors for the ending of the public health emergency as well, to see how involved we want to be with the Mass Health clients and assisting them. And lastly, we are still continuing to work on the billboards. We are pushing for them, but they are stuck in contracting right now. But as soon as those are up and out, we will let everybody know to look out for them in the community. And that was it for me.
Okay, any questions or
Any
comments?
questions?
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
Amy. We'll
Amy.
see you later.
Okay, Jess.
Sure. So I'm just looking at my phone because I'm reading. So
That's all right.
hi, everybody. So it's very busy in social work. We're still down a clinician, so it was posted and it closed 17 minutes ago. So I could see we had, I think, around 10 applicants. So we're going to try and move as quickly as we can to get someone in. Our wait list for our individual therapy program is incredibly long right now. We're just not able to accommodate. And we're just doing 8 weeks. So we're trying to refer out as much as we can, but there's still a huge lack of clinicians in the community. So that's our biggest priority right now is mental health. But we're also continuing to do our community outreach. Both Carrie and Jess, our other clinicians, have gone to a couple of trainings. We're doing coffee hours at the Housing Authority. We had 10 people today, which was pretty exciting for us. That was our biggest number yet. We did receive a grant from Metro West Health Foundation to continue with our clinical consultant, which has been hugely valuable for us, especially with managing this therapy service. We're getting a lot of calls. You've probably seen in the news about the increased SNAP benefits ending or ended. The last payment went out March 2nd. So a lot of calls from people who are seeing their benefit go down and trying to figure out how we can kind of manage that gap. And then the next big influx will be with Mass Health redeterminations, again, all relating to the COVID emergency ending. So it's going to change a lot of benefits for a lot of people. So we're trying to be ready and as informed as possible to deal with that. I'm going to be on Needham Cable, so look for me. We did a segment on loneliness in older adults, so that should be airing, I think this month, they said. So hopefully that's okay. Hopefully they're good photoshoppers. And what else? That's really it. We have about, in terms of volunteers, we have about 30 active volunteers right now. Driving is kind of still our biggest issue, between we're using volunteers heavily to deliver meals so our drivers can be as free as possible to give rides. So, but other than that, we're pretty set on volunteers in other regards. And we're having a training for our front desk volunteers next week.
Jess, you should tell them about the taxi grant.
Oh, thank you. So we got a grant for $49,999 from Mass Development. So we're gonna restart the taxi program. I don't know if y'all remember that during COVID. And we're gonna try and offer things that aren't already available in the community. The community council does a great job using Lyft to do local rides, so we don't feel like that's a great use of our money to duplicate. So we're gonna try and focus on rides that are kind of outside of their catchment area. Which means that we probably will go through the money pretty quickly. Taxi rides are very expensive, and it has, the grant is set up that it has to be through a taxi or livery company. It can't be through Lyft or Uber. So we're expecting to probably 6 months, I think, is kind of our estimate. But we're gonna put limits on how many rides people can take, and we're doing up to 12 miles, but those Boston hospital rides are very expensive, so.
Are you planning on doing anything other than hospital rides?
Medical.
Medical outside the area?
Yeah, but from the last round with this grant, we found that it was mostly Boston appointments is what
Right.
people needed. And then that last time we were doing vaccine appointments at Gillette, but that's not going on right now, so.
Did you say it had to be taxis, not?
It has to be taxis, yeah, yeah. So right now the request for quotes is out, and we'll be closing in a couple of days, I think. So as soon as we're good to go, as soon as we can get the contract through.
Good for the taxi business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's not,
Awesome.
it's a little hard to find.
Any of our staff starting their own taxi company?
I know. You wouldn't want me driving you, trust me.
I live in Boston, yeah, you know. Okay, thanks. Any other questions or, okay, Aisha?
Hi, everyone. So programming has been very busy. We are now booking September, October. July, August is all booked up. We've reconnected with the Rotary, and we're going to have a barbecue on August 16 with them, and hopefully that will get us doing more things with them. We did a lot when Libby Pero was here, but she moved. She's still involved with the Rotary. But I want to start, having that partnership with them. We've established some new partnerships with some living facilities. One is the Key. They're doing trivia and tunes once a month, which they did last month. I don't know if anyone went or saw it, but it had the whole place hopping. They played fun music, and they brought a great vibe to the center. I pulled some statistics that were in the board report, and we have had over 75 new registrants in 2 months, which is the most since we opened, from what I've been told. We ran out of swipe cards because we had so many, so those are reordered. I also went through in 1 week to see, because we've had so many out of towners, and I don't have the board report in front of me, but I believe we have 12 towns that are now coming to the center because the word is somehow out there that we're offering good things. We had Harvey Leonard, which was standing room only.
It was fabulous,
Yeah.
really fabulous. Nice job.
And I thought he was so knowledgeable, had such great stories, and so humble for what a career he's had. I've had 4 other centers reach out to me in the last week asking how I got him. And we interviewed for a front desk position, and we have 1 more interview on Friday. So far, out of the 3 we interviewed on Wednesday, Jess? Was that just
Wednesday,
yesterday?
yeah, yesterday.
out of the three, we narrowed it down to one. She was fabulous. So we'll see how the one on Friday is. And we have submitted paperwork to hire a new van driver who is a love and drives for First Call Now. So he deals with severely handicapped people. I think he'll be a huge asset if he signs the paperwork. So all good things.
Great. Excellent. And you did I mean, getting Harvey Leonard, I don't know how you did it either, but he was very funny. He was very humble. I mean, for really, just very entertaining. And it was more personal than weather, which was nice. Yeah.
You probably
Good
brought
job,
a lot
Aisha.
of new people that
Yes.
haven't been here too. Which was.
It
great.
wasn't hard. I went on the website, and so now we're trying to think of who we can break the record for. So stay.
Okay. So all these new people that have registered, did they also pay?
We have had more people registering to get the compass from out of town.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And I will tell you that we are having equal numbers of people paying for classes from out of town as we are in Needham.
Good. Good.
And a lot of them are doing the Zoom classes, so they're not. Some are coming to the center, but I have people down the Cape that are sending me checks for a litany of classes that she and her husband are taking. So,
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yep. And the accolades, I keep thinking I should inundate you guys with all the emails that we're getting about how much they like the center, but I try to put some in my highlights and not, be too braggadocious.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because I do see your highlights every day. And so, yeah, nice job. And it's always good to have accolades. Don't hide them.
And if they send accolades for the people doing the classes, do we send them along to the teachers so they know that they're being appreciated all for the state?
I do.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know if the whole board knows that anybody who gets the compass out of Needham has to pay for it, for the mailing. Those in Needham don't have to. So that was one of the things Aisha was mentioning. So, okay, thanks, Aisha, very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody know anything? I know you mentioned a new driver, which is good. Anything else on transportation?
I know Stefan, if you give me a second, he submitted his board report too. So give me,
I can forward it. to you,
Yeah,
Aisha.
unfortunately, none of the board got the board report this month.
I just forwarded you what Latanya sent me, Aisha.
okay.
That's okay.
No, I should have it. It's just taking me a second I'm on my phone, so it goes a little slower.
Yeah.
Did we ever hear about like the increase in the pay? You know, that was an issue.
Yeah, I think they got $1.
I think that's right.
I can't
Yeah.
scroll, Jess. Do you just want to read what Stefan wrote?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's like it's a PDF on the agenda.
So he said that meal deliveries continue to be the bulk of transportation. But the pace of clients using transportation is increasing and meal delivery is slowly going down. And he said due to medical leave. let's see, he said still actively looking for drivers. We know now that we offered for one. The drivers are gonna do a mandatory training with MassDOT. Stefan was selected to participate in a selection committee in the town, putting together to review responses for a consultant to do a transportation study. And he attended a roundtable discussion on mobility issues with different council on agings from Massachusetts. And the consensus was the need to find solutions for medical transportation, especially to Boston, so yay for us.
Yep.
And then vehicle 405 is awaiting maintenance. It's under warranty, so it's going to the dealership for repair. Yeah, so a dealership in Framingham.
I will also say one more thing. He also got picked to be on a group for my senior center because they're trying to revamp their transportation system. And there are flaws, and he was the first one that they picked to have him come on board to be on the forum. So that was
Not
impressive.
surprising.
Mhm.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Did everybody receive the minutes?
Mhm.
Okay, so, may I have a motion for approval? Anybody?
I wasn't here, so.
Yeah,
I'm making a
you're
motion.
Thank you. Carol. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Corrections, omissions, blah, blah, blah? No? Okay, all in favor? Thank you.
We're abstaining.
Okay. Because I can't see, I know, several of you are on Zoom, but we can't see you. So if at any time you have something that you want to say, just unmute yourself and holler. So we know that you want to say something. Okay. So the only other thing that I have, that I want to talk about, both Dan and I went to the planning board meeting on Tuesday. And they were talking about the revamping of Wingate, which is going to be turned into independent living, which is great. They started out with 50, they're now asking to put a third floor on, and they're going to raise it to 72 units. 9 of which are affordable.
12.5%.
Yeah, percent, turns out to be 9. Right. There was a lot of in favor kind of comments. And there were a few, little things like what was, traffic and parking and where the dumpster's gonna be and that kind of thing. But they did a nice job, and we weren't asked, but I did speak about how he felt and how the board felt. And acknowledged the fact that we were not even aware of it. So that we had not discussed it, but that I couldn't imagine that we wouldn't be in favor. So. And then, do you have anything else?
No, I think it's a great step forward. I think we need it. The only comment I would make, affordable is you can have a lot of income and still get an affordable apartment, which has helped a lot of seniors. I know people at Charles River Landing who have affordable apartments. And so it's helped, especially
Right.
widows that have maybe social security and a little other income. But the affordable can be 60, 70, 80,000 almost. So
Yeah.
that I think, everyone hears the word affordable, they think something else, but I think it's a great step.
And
the
there,
Avery should only be following.
right,
Right.
exactly.
What is it the back building or the front?
No, it's the front
Front
building.
building that
that
was the nursing
Do they
home.
have 75 parking spots?
No,
They have, so I brought up parking because,
Because, I mean, you could have two people in a place and both have cars.
they'll have one parking space per unit.
Okay,
and the requirement from the state is a half a parking space.
really?
Yeah.
How did that work?
Yeah.
So when I was the ombudsman there and it was a nursing home, parking was a nightmare.
Yeah, there was.
But I think there's a little more parking with the assisted
In
living.
the
now.
back.
I suggested that they shouldn't, they were talking about taking some out.
Right,
I thought they maybe shouldn't be doing that.
No. Well,
Because I
just-
agree with
yeah,
you, everybody, most of the places will have at
At
least
least
one.
one. And I'm just thinking of the thing going, building, whatever's going in at Muncie's. That's just a lot of, cars going in.
Well, they
and
talked about
they talked
that.
about traffic.
They
traffic.
talked about that the entrance are gonna be like across from each other, and there was
there'll be a
some
traffic.
talk about a traffic light.
Oh, okay.
So they've been basically approved. They had approval letters from all of the various departments in town.
Mhm.
You know, the fire department, the police department, you know, for this project. And it's varied. I think there's studios, one bedroom and a den, and 2 bedrooms. So, there's a.
And somebody asked the question whether the affordables would only be studios, and they said they would be
A percent, yeah,
proportionate to the
Oh, good.
studios, 1 bedrooms and 2.
right.
So should we, do you want a motion? I would make a motion that the board strongly supports the Wingate Independent Living Project.
I'll second.
Sorry, I need to write a letter, so I want to make sure I get this
Mhm.
motion.
I can change. it. It was
No, that's-
taped to my-
No, that's fine.
What I heard Dan was that the board strongly supports the Wingate Independent Living Project.
Right, that's what I wanted to, okay. So they have continued the hearing until next month, so I will get an email off to the planning board letting them know that the council on aging does.
Does that go to town?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Does that go to town meeting or no? That doesn't have to,
No,
it's already,
because the permit for them it's just the adding of the
Third floor.
third floor.
Though, right?
I'm sorry, yes, I haven't done that,
Okay,
yes,
good.
thank you.
I think I have that in the notes.
No.
I'm afraid I missed something.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Do you want to discuss it, Ed?
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad that they're putting some independent living units somewhere in the Heights. We need them.
Right.
Okay. Well, then I can't use the word unanimous, so, okay, thank you. The other thing that they talked about, was the ADUs. Dan was smart, he left, unfortunately. I wasn't smart enough to leave. Some of the things that they're doing, I think are really great. I think it's a move forward. You know, being allowed to do a rental with a 12-month lease. People were complaining that or suggesting that it should be less, you know, for maybe students or people who are looking for homes that needed just some place to go. I don't know if that's going to change or not. That's certainly up to town meeting. They're talking about making it larger, 900 square feet. They're also talking about whether it's attached or detached, and that raises a lot of discussion because they had maybe 8 different scenarios on the size of your lot means where the setbacks are, whether you can have more than, you know, you can only have so many structures if you're doing an ADU over an existing garage, it's one thing if you're not, if it, anyway. God bless town meeting members. Cause I found by the time they get through, I was writing down a lot of stuff, but I was just not really sure what, because there's conforming lots in Needham and there's non-conforming lots in Needham, and who is able to do it and not able to do it, and there's concern that if it's a freestanding, it becomes a two-family kind of thing, but I don't think they're gonna be big enough for an entire family to live in.
Look at whatever they want. I mean, I've been in town, I was in town meeting long enough to watch us spend hours on certain things. Like the Dedham Ave building, it was only supposed to be 2.5 floors. It's 4.5 floors. The town will do whatever they want, and the lawyers will come in and fight. If someone wants it, they will end up getting what they want. I mean,
Right.
it's just kind of like, great, but in reality, it'll be easy for the people that can do it normally, but there will be a way for someone to come if they want to do.
Right, and right at the moment, there hasn't been a huge influx of people that want to do this. I mean, in the 3 years that they've approved, ADUs, we've got 10.
Right.
So, whether.
There was a lot of concern about.
Yes,
when
they
they
could only be for immediate family or a caregiver. There was the discussion about what's the definition of a caregiver, is it, a nanny? Is it, this kind of thing. So there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth. I don't know that at this point we want to make a statement, because I don't know that we have enough information. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but
Yeah, you're right.
so, I mean, we were in favor of the original ADUs. And we did make a statement at a public hearing, but I'm not sure.
I don't think we should take a stand unless there's a specific
Right,
parameters out there for which they're around.
not yet.
That's only for in-law suites or something like that. I mean, it could be for anybody, any age.
So, at this time, of course, again, they didn't vote on it, so. All right. Ted.
Oh, yes. Here we are, March. March, right now is turning out to be a great month in more than one way. We are here. It's a little bit light out there. Spring is happening this month. We moved the clocks forward this month. So that means the next time we come to a meeting, we'll be leaving the meeting. It'll be daylight. Maybe even the sun will be out.
Well, I'll try and make it longer.
We can do that too. But at the same token, March, we had our general membership meeting at the VFW last Thursday. In the morning, last Thursday, I met with the veteran service officer, our new fellow. He was downstairs in the cafeteria. And I knew he was invited, but I didn't know if he was going to be coming. He says, yes, he didn't want to miss it. He came to the post. He was introduced. He was looking at how things were taking place prior to even the meeting, what goes on, this and that. Well, lo and behold, we now have a new member of our VFW in Needham. Our VSO now signed up to the Needham VFW. So
Great.
he's a VSO in this town and 4 other towns, but he's a member of our VFW, which is a plus.
Right.
By the same token, when he was giving his presentation, I have to compliment him more ways than one, because when I met with him prior to the meetings prior to the meeting we had there, but I was meeting with him on Thursdays here downstairs, and I was presenting him, kind of letting him have copies of the different documents that I used to give his predecessor. And I gave them all to him, kind of as a heads up. He appreciated it big time. But when I met with him on that Thursday, he went and he put together a packet. That packet's got to be about 1/4 inch thick. He had a lot of those papers Xerox in the packet. He had it as a presentation at our post, letting the membership know. But all the more so, he met with every town administrator that he works with. In other words, all the 5 towns need him as well. He presented the topics in general. But he says every one of the topics that he talked about, and bear in mind, these topics are not something that's a wish list. These are mass general laws by number such and such have been passed. And I mentioned a couple of those previously, but while he was mentioning to each one of these town administrators, they all, he says, every one of them, I think it's probably a political thing too, but every one of them mentioned that they had no clue about any of this stuff taking place or in effect. So he basically is trying to follow up on all of these issues. He's meeting with them once a month to keep going on this. There were a number of them, and one in particular that I had addressed here once before relative to the parking space at the town hall dedicated to a veterans parking. He brought that up as well in each one of his meetings. And I believe the town that was mentioned, that he said everybody was overwhelmed with the idea. They knew nothing about it. Westwood, I think, is the town that he mentioned, is looking to put not just 1, but 2 spaces up. So one will see as time goes by. He's got a lot of these proposals out there to get incorporated. It's not something that's a wish list, like I said, they are in effect. And ironically, when you look at different towns, like I pointed out before, some of these have these programs in already for years. So it's like these 5 that he's dealing with now are way behind the 8 ball. So everything in that respect turned out pretty good. As a matter of fact, he's also brought up the fact about the SNAP program. And ironically, the SNAP program is run and administered by the Council on Aging, the Senior Center, and he's trying to get veterans added to that program like the other towns have. Because the thing is that you can be a veteran, to be in the SNAP program, you got to be a certain age. Well, if you get the veterans into the program, you can have a 30-year-old veteran participate. He doesn't have to be a senior at that stage. So he had a lot of good topics in there that he put together that were presented to him. And as a matter of fact, even this morning, or yesterday, when I was looking up something on the web, I came across another one of these rude awakening things, and I was showing it to him this morning. He was asking me where the town is, and I says, it's a neighbor. It's the town of Medfield, just down the road. And Medfield's Veteran Property Tax Workoff Program. It's implemented through the Medfield Council on Aging, et cetera, et cetera. Medfield veterans under age 60 may also participate in the Veterans Tax Workoff Program. Enrollment is open, and here's the killer. Enrollment, because of this article, the way it was, enrollment is open until November 28th, 2014. It is now 2023, and we don't even have that here yet.
We do have a work,
You do have one, but the veterans, by law, veterans are supposed to be in the program. Mass General Law number something, I gave them the documents.
well, I can't imagine that we're excluding them.
Well, you're excluding them only if they are under age 60. There's a requirement by age. But with this program, like I just mentioned briefly, that the veteran can be out there on the street, or if you live anywhere, you could be right in a town here, Needham, looking to participate. And but he may be 45, he may be 30. He can participate once this gets incorporated into the program. This was one that our current VSO's predecessor supposedly was working with the town. Well, when I mentioned it to him and he mentioned it into the administrator, they knew nothing about it. So I don't know if there's somewhere there's a disconnect, but he's basically looking to follow up on a lot of these things.
I can speak a little bit to this because I met with him and I met with Tom Keating, and we're about to put a billboard up for recruitment. Where also TJ is fabulous, and he is ready to take everything on, and he's going to educate. I think he's going on vacation next week, and then he's going to come back, and we're gonna have a all staff meeting to get us up on what he's learning about what the town's been lacking. And he's also expanding his hours, so he's going to be at the center on Thursdays only and not at town hall because he's not getting any bites over there. So it's a work in progress. We realize it's been lacking, but it's looking forward, not looking back.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does say that he's a lot more comfortable staying here at the senior center and dealing with the different issues and the people coming in. As opposed
And the
to being
good news about that we also discussed is there can be, you know, people are always like, why are there young people walking around the building? And I say, we want young people walking around the building because they'll go home and tell their parents how fabulous we are and to get them to come here. So having younger vets go to meet with him at the center, it's not that we're trying to take the center away from the seniors, it's trying to get more visibility.
Yeah, and they're not using our programs, they're just there for him.
Just to meet him in the cafe, and he's been in the
Right.
cafe, which is so lovely. And then if they want to meet privately, we have a room set aside for him.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, all the better when everybody starts coming. Obviously, the meeting that whoever here has with the town and all that relative to trying to get more parking space next door, is gonna make a big difference, because if I was here this morning, I was here maybe about 9:15 to meet with him. I was leaving maybe about 10 past 10. The parking lots were full and I was backing out. I could have sold my parking space. They were standing in line in the vehicles waiting for somebody to leave.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and there was nothing, I guess, nothing spectacular
Been
taking
here last
place.
Friday.
Yeah.
You wanna
So
talk about parking?
all the more if something takes place with that extra parking next door there at the MBTA parking slot that's not getting utilized.
Right.
So, but and one final thing, March is March, but there's one very important thing that takes place in Needham in March. It's March 29th. There, which is Vietnam War Veterans Day. And it probably, most likely, our chaplain will be putting a notice in the Hometown Weekly of the event that takes place yearly at the Cefalo Road turnaround there. So that's a kind of a big event for March, big event for the year anyway. Finally, it was dedicated like about, I think 4 or 5 years ago, made national, a national day. That's all I got.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
If I could just jump in about the SNAP, I want to clarify, we're a SNAP intake site through the state, but it's a state benefit. Anyone of any age can access it.
But this was a SNAP, this was the real estate tax workout program.
No, you were discussing SNAP in the beginning.
Yeah, well, I guess that falls under the SNAP, I think. Under
No,
the
SNAP is
program.
the food
Yeah,
stamp
yeah.
program. The tax work-off program is a program to get a deduction on your property taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I think that was, because one of the flyers had all of the criteria under SNAP, defined that and defined the different kind of requirements of how many hours, how many days, et cetera, all this, when you apply, when you get it abated, you apply this year to fill out the paperwork, but you get your real estate tax abatement next year. So
Yeah,
it had a lot of that break,
they're just two completely separate
yeah,
programs, but we are a SNAP intake site through the state, but
Right.
any person of any age can get that. It's income based, and then the property tax program is a
Separate, yeah,
separate, yeah. So I just want to clarify that younger veterans can certainly access us for SNAP assistance.
Right.
Okay, thank you. There's no Friends Board report this month. I was at their meeting last Friday. They're doing pretty well. I told them that I didn't feel there was anything that was going on that if they didn't want to come tonight, it was fine. So that's why they're not here, but things are moving forward all over, so, okay. Any old business? New business?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Open favor? Any opposed? I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay. We'll see you all.
Bye, everyone.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.